Tesla has posted a 71% drop in quarterly earnings amid falling EV sales and a boycott over Elon Musk's political activities. Tesla's first quarter total gross margin beat analyst estimates, though, due to strong growth in services and energy storage sales. Deliveries of its electric vehicles slid 13% in the first 3 months of the year as the company lost ground to Chinese rivals. Shares in the company ended the session up 4.6%. Tesla has faced protests, vandalism and boycotts in several markets over CEO Elon Musk's role in the Trump administration. Mr. Musk has promised to step back from his departmental duties from May in a bid to quell the growing backlash. For more, I'm joined now by Dan Ives, senior equity analyst from Wedbush Securities in New York. Hello and welcome to News Channel.
Great to be here.
Hi Dan, let's start with the numbers. A 71% drop in first quarter profit. What a shocker. And what's driving that slump?
Look, this was essentially a disaster quarter. I mean, deliveries, if you look, the brand damage was significant for Musk and Tesla in terms of Europe and what we saw in the US. And I think it was a wake-up call in terms of this quarter, just how soft it was. And, I believe it's one of the catalysts that ultimately Musk now takes a big step, out of the government in terms of Trump administration back toward being CEO of Tesla.
We've seen a global slide in Tesla sales and margins under serious pressure. Are we seeing any signs of that easing, or is price cutting still eating into the bottom line?
Yeah, I mean, price cutting competition in China, but the reality is the brand damage from Musk being associated with Trump and in DOGE, it's real, right? I mean, I think that's potentially 20% demand destruction, which is why he needs to get out of that Trump administration. I think he took a huge step forward on the earnings call in terms of, sort of committing that those days are sort of ending. Look, autonomous robotics, so much technology ahead. But that's why this was a moment of truth for Musk.
Well, Tesla's share price has plunged more than 40% this year, the worst performing stock among the so-called Magnificent Seven. So what's going on there, Dan?
Look, it's been a perfect storm. I mean, if you look at ever since Musk joined Trump White House, the brand damage has been significant. You've seen that impacted on deliveries. The tariff is now potentially impacting Tesla. And they've also seen just softer demand, especially in China, where BYD has obviously been very, very successful. And that's why this is a moment for Tesla and a moment for Musk to turn this around. That's why they need a CEO full time, not someone that's just doing this 5-10% of the time.
Let's talk about the brand damage, as you alluded to. So there's no denying Tesla's brand has taken a hit. Some of that tied to Elon Musk's political views and associations. Now he says he will spend less time on government work and will spend more time at Tesla. Do you think that will help repair the brand?
Look, I mean, some of the damage is always going to be there, but I believe this was a big step forward. I think it's the beginning of the end, where he's going to, in terms of at the Trump administration. Now, look, I think the reality is that they're facing headwinds, but he knows that this was not a sustainable situation, and I think it's something he had to make this move. And even from Musk, it was a pretty contrite and honest Musk on the conference call, because it speaks to, just the damage that you've seen for Tesla in terms of that brand, around the world.
Yeah, also internationally, Tesla's facing fierce competition from China's BYD, plus rising tariff tensions that would add more uncertainty around its sales. So what kind of future are we looking at for Tesla?
Look, I continue to believe a big reason we've been bullish on Tesla over the years, and I think in the future, it's around autonomous and robotics. I think that's going to be a big piece of the value for Tesla going forward. Competition is going to continue to increase on EVs, BYD, NIO, and others in China, but it comes down to the autonomous future. And that, when I look over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, that's a huge part of the opportunity that I think Tesla will I think that'll be this next chapter of growth.